Araw-araw nag-aabang ang mga NBA fans sa latest developments sa Kyrie Irving Saga dahil ayaw na niya raw maging sidekick ni LeBron James at nag-request na nga ng trade itong si Irving mula sa Cleveland Cavaliers. At may listahan pa siya ng teams na gusto niyang lipatan. Pero saan nga kaya babagsak si Uncle Drew? Kaya niya na buhatin ang isang franchise ng mag-isa? At wala na nga ba talagang tsansa na magkaayos sila ng The King? Talakayan natin yan ngayong gabi kasama ang basketball analyst sina Martin Javier at basketball blogger na si Nico Baguio. March, Nico, welcome back to the Score. Meet each other for the first time. Hello. Ayan. And ready for your song numbers? Dahil may okay mga mikropono. Okay, let's start with Nico. Nico, okay, let's rewind this a bit and I want to get your perspective. Nung unang bumalik si LeBron James sa Cleveland Cavaliers, syempre yung isa sa mga assets na obviously that he will have to work with, the guy who just renewed for a new contract, he thought it was going to be his team. Yeah. It was Kyrie Irving. What was your expectation? Paano magbe-blend yung dalawa? How could they play together?
I think we saw that a lot the past 3 years. Kyrie has always been a scorer first and foremost.
Yep.
Although a lot of people parang inexpect nila na he was going to be or he was going to develop into this playmaker more akin to something like what Stephen Curry is now. Pero I think kumbaga at his core, Kyrie Irving is a scorer, and that meshed well with someone like LeBron James, who was more of a playmaker.
Right. March, for you, nung nakita natin yung struggles, nung first year, there were some struggles of getting Kyrie to play well with LeBron. I remember distinctly, there's one game he had 0 assists. And then sinerma siya ni LeBron. Then the next game he had double-digit assists. But he was a young guy. It's understandable. He was 22, 23 years old. Anong thoughts mo nun yung first year nila, yung getting to know you stage nila?
Feeling ko kasi TJ, big adjustment yun for Kyrie Irving kasi he's the #1 pick.
Yep.
Nung draft niya, he was the best player in the draft.
Right.
Walang question kung bakit siya yung naging #1. So understandably, he's gonna be an alpha.
Right, yeah.
So when LeBron James came there, bigla siyang naging beta siya, bigla siyang naging sidekick. So I think it was an adjustment for Kyrie Irving, especially dun sa kung sino yung magkukuha ng bola, late game situations, sino kukuha nun. So I think he transitioned well as well.
It seemed like it to all of us. Yeah.
Diba? Nung nag-champion na sila sa Cleveland, and he had his best offensive season last year pa with LeBron. So
nag-champion sila, Knicks. It's no question. You won a title. So parang this is what shocks people. So I mean, just the championship alone, if you look at that, the chemistry was there. They played well together. The mutual respect. And this is verbalized by both guys. And LeBron will always say, this is my man, this is my boy.
Yeah.
And if he needed to defer, he would defer to Kyrie, take big shots. Ano nakita mo positives in the championship run that, you know, seem to make it to all of us at na mukhang kaya naman nila mag-coexist?
No, I think ang most surprising thing about the entire saga is the fact that I think both players understood where they were in terms of their timeline.
Okay.
Kumbaga, ngayon, it's going to be LeBron James' team. He's going to be the quote-unquote alpha. The entire offense will revolve around him. Pero you could see bits and pieces of it where LeBron's giving Kyrie the freedom and the control that he so desired. We saw that nung Boston game, especially nung 2017 playoffs, where I think it was game 4 yata.
Yeah.
LeBron was having a bad game. He was in foul trouble. And then Kyrie Irving just exploded for like 25 points in like a quarter and a half. And then bumawi si LeBron. Pero at that moment, you could see what the future would look like when LeBron was already scaling down because he's getting older, preparing more for the playoffs, and then giving more of the control to Kyrie. So, yun yung pinaka-biggest development or positive thing nung 3-year run nila na positive thing na surprising considering the saga that's currently happening.
Okay, March, now we're all in a guessing game kung ano ba talaga nangyayari. What's your gut feel about this? And I'll ask you, Knicks, as well. What happened? I mean, is it because kita na niya na, okay, there's no chance we'll beat the guys in the West anyways, so I might as well move on and build my own brand and my own team, or LeBron's gonna leave anyways next year? Anong basa mo kung bakit siya nag-react na ganito?
Basa ko dito, TJ, kasi daming rumors, but I feel like Kyrie Irving won kasi kung titignan mo, gusto niya maging focal point to another team, pero bakit niya sinama yung Spurs doon?
Yun na kayo weird din.
Bakit niya sinama
that kind of a team,
Minnesota rin, may Jimmy Butler doon. So I think, you know, it's something about playing with LeBron talaga. That he doesn't like.
Based on the hint that what teams he chose, allegedly.
On the teams he chose, yes.
Good point.
And also, I feel like he also nararamdaman na niya na LeBron will be leaving next year. He's also anticipating that as well. So parang, you know, he's doing this for himself to maintain his value and then para ma-trade na siya habang ganito pa yung status niya sa NBA.
Pwede. Nick, ikaw, from the little that we know of the situation, what's been reported, what's your gut feel? Bakit napaganito si Kyrie ng emotions niya ngayon?
I think it's more, yun nga, as Martin said, yung gut feel niya, it's more about something about playing with LeBron that he doesn't like. I think me personally, it's more about the organization that he plays for.
That too.
Kasi,
that's a big factor.
For the, like, since Dan Gilbert took over about a decade ago, one thing that became clear is that he's a very middling owner, unlike a lot of the owners that
take a step back.
Very step back,
and then the GMs take over.
The powers to the president of basketball operations or the GM. Yun nga, I'm not sure if it's true, pero wala pang nare-retain na general manager since Dan Gilbert took over.
Wow.
Danny Ferry was the first one. He signed a 5-year contract. After that, he resigned in 2010. And then Chris Grant took over from assistant GM, elevated to GM.
Yeah.
And then when LeBron came back, it was David Griffin. And then after that, yung assistant GM niya ulit, naging GM.
Right.
So I think makikita mo yun dun sa list of teams na binigay ni Kyrie na he wants Minnesota, Spurs, Miami. Spurs and Miami, basically, they have one of the strongest foundations in terms of the organizational structure, from owner to basketball operations and
coach.
Whatnot.
Right.
And then yung Minnesota, they're getting there because Tibbs was given the POBO and the coach designation. So I think it's more about the organization than LeBron. Ang personal feeling ko lang, sinabi niya lang yung LeBron para lang ma-force yung hand nung Cavs to trade him. Kasi he's on a 3-year contract with a player option in the last year. So the Cavs could technically just say, no, you have a contract, you play for us, even though you don't like playing for the organization anymore.
Correct. Saka insulto sa harap-harapan. Presidente kausap niya, owner kausap niya. I don't like you. Okay, now let's move on to where he could possibly go, March. For you, he gave a short list of teams. You mentioned it a bit na nga, Spurs, may Timberwolves, may Heat. Meron pa ka Knicks ata, di ba?
Knicks.
Anong gut feel mo doon? Where would he best fit, if ever?
For me, if he wants to be the focal point, it's either New York or Miami.
Okay.
Kasi New York, he can take over from Kristaps. Pwede siya mag-lead ng team na yun. If he really wants to be the focal point, the number one option on the team. Sa Miami naman, there's a better chance for him to win there and also take over as a first option. Kasi you have Goran Dragic, you have Hassan Whiteside, who can be, you know, the second and third pieces of the team. Tapos siya pa rin yung magiging number one option. And again, nabanggit kanina ni Nico, he's looking for a great organization. Those two organizations are on the rise right now, especially with Phil Jackson leaving the New York Knicks. So kumbaga naalis na nila yung cancer doon. The cancer. Naalis na nila yun. And sa Miami Heat naman, Pat Riley has been running the Miami Heat organization splendidly these past years. So I think those are the best scenarios for Kyrie Irving. But if you want to win as well, right away and not mind being the second option, you can always go to the Spurs and Minnesota. Especially Minnesota though, because they have all the the young guys, the pieces, and you have a great coach in Tom Thibodeau. So it's gonna be, kung gusto ninyang manalo now. Yan.
Knicks, how did the Cavs move on? Who did they trade for one, without caring what happens to Kyrie, what they get back? And how does the Derrick Rose free agent signing matter? Parang yung Region Rondo mo ng Pelicans mo, cheap, low risk? Ganun ba?
I think the Derrick Rose signing would have happened regardless of what happened to Kyrie.
Kasi pinag-usapan even before this came out.
Even before, no. The thing there is that the Cavs knew about this 2 weeks before it opened. It went public.
Correct,
so, kumbaga, yung Derrick Rose news, it also happened around that time. So, we can't really know which one led to the other. Pero I think, regardless of what happened to Kyrie, a minimum deal for Derrick Rose was a solid bet.
He's a step up from Deron Williams. As a backup,
in terms of shot creation.
Big,
pero I think yung kay Kyrie, I think the thing that you have to remember when you ask where do you think Kyrie is going to go is that which one gives the Cavs the best return. Kasi the Cavs have all the leverage here. Wala namang no trade clause si Kyrie because he's not an 8-year player and he didn't resign during that time. So, I think if I were the Cavs, I think the best thing to do was is just to get LeBron and Kyrie in the same room.
Okay.
And just say, you know, let's just try it for
So
one
ikaw,
more year.
hashtag one more chance.
Yeah, one more
Hindi ka
chance.
wala
Mahal mo pa ba ako? Ganon. Hindi, pero 1 year, and then after that, if he still thinks
wala
of
pa rin talaga.
leaving, LeBron's already a free agent, we'll
Yeah.
trade you then, even if
Yeah.
it's on a lower
So rebuilding mode
return.
na
Yeah,
sila.
rebuilding
Yeah.
mode. Pero in terms of what they could get for Kyrie, the question that you have to ask is, yun nga, one, what kind of trade does that madaming makukuha yung Cavs?
Yun, yeah.
And two, defining what being the man means for Kyrie. Kasi yung teams na nilist niya, as Martin said, Spurs,
Not
nandun si
necessarily the
Kawhi,
man, yeah.
Minnesota, nandun si Jimmy Butler. I think yung pag-define niya ng being the man, it's just being the guy who has a lot of control of the ball and the offensive side. Doesn't mean he has to be the one that has the most impact or the best defensive player or the best player actually. So I think with that question, it's hard to gauge where he could go. Pero if it's outside of those 4 teams, kasi Martin already discussed those 4 teams, I guess the best answer should be, for me, is Denver. Because doon magkakaroon siya ng, yun yung madaming return na pwedeng makuha yung Cleveland. They have Gary Harris, they have picks to go. They have workable players in a LeBron system. And at the same time, doon talaga pwede mong masabi kay Kyrie na, oh, you're the man here, although you're not the best player.
Yeah.
Kasi you get to dribble a lot, you get to do your shingaling ding and all that. Pero you're not the best player because they have Jokic there.
Very interesting stuff. All right, maraming salamat. If you want to continue the debate with these guys, find them on Twitter. Marts, Nico, maraming salamat. See you soon. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.